I added more color or more from another palette. I was trying to save space so I could travel with these palettes. I'm not going to use this travel brush, aqua brush, but I keep it there for moments like those. Today, as usual, I will use a round size 6 silver black velvet. I learned long ago is if you can work with a size 6, you can do almost anything. I don't know what I'll end up with. Let's find out together. Happy Sunday, everybody. So I'm just dropping more paint to the center by pressing down on the tip of the bristle. I'm adding water and then just going around in a C stroke, pretty much like a crescent moon. Every time I laid my my brush back down, it is more water than paint, so that I can get a feeling of you know, a very brilliant center and a very translucent edge to the rose. Let me drop more paint in the center just to darken it. Paint, watercolor paint dries about it dries lighter, maybe half the intensity. So it's good to note that, especially if you think one layer is enough, it may not be. So you have to return or revisit that section sooner than later. Okay, I'll leave that there first and I'll continue. I just added water, so let's see what I can do with a very transparent flower on this side. And remember, every drop counts, every pigment counts, so let's not discount the power of whatever color that is left in the brush. I'm keeping the center empty, and I will fill it up with a contrasting color later. Okay, for the moment, I'll just do this. Okay, maybe I'll add more pigment to the middle portion, and I'll just let the water run. There you are. Okay, I'll keep going, and I will just use whatever's on the brush. That way we can maximize the paint and we don't waste it. Something like this is about 1,500, and I've had it for a few years already. And so for that amount, which, you know, you can spend a day on Shopee and Lazada. For my foreign friends, Shopee and Lazada is like our Amazon here in the Philippines. So for that price, I get daily fulfillment and relaxation painting, and it's just a gift, a self-gift that keeps on giving. Okay, so I'll just work around the paper. Same color so far. I've not changed it. And let's see if it's going to change anytime soon. It should. But you know, working with the same color is an exercise as well, right? in contrast and in shape, because you want to make sure that the next shape is understandable and it just doesn't, the colors just don't meld into each other. Melt, whichever. So I'll add more. I'll just drop. Same color anyway. Okay. And then I'll probably, with this last use of this color, I'm going to segue into another color. The next time I load this brush, I will add a new color to it and then move on. Okay, so this one is very dark. What I'll do is I will transfer color. I will pull color from it and use it. I'll invest it into this next petal over here. So that's that. Next color would be maybe the one right beside it. I will just add to the brush and keep going. So maybe a rose. I just go round and round, and then I bring pressure down to the brush so that it the bristles splay open. They widen up, and it loads paint onto the paper in a different way. So I just added water, and the color should start lightening because all I have now is water on my brush. Yeah, there, this is what I want to happen. Color starting to melt. What I can also do is clean the brush and remove paint while it's wet. But remember, the more I disturb the surface of the paper, the grainier it can get, and we don't want that. So while it's a little wet, why don't I introduce this color to the center to darken it. Okay. And then I will let the water do the work of spreading it around farther out. Okay, I will just turn the paper around since I don't want to wet my hand. I mean here. Okay, so I will just, oops, needs lots of water. So I'm just going to work with something very light. And then move here. And then move here. Maybe another one here. And since there's a lot of water here, let's see if I can pull it out or lift. Okay, after I've lifted, I'm going to drop. Maybe I should exchange these two palettes. You can see the colors I'm using. So now I'm going to drop another brown to the center and to the sides and to places where I know are still damp. And because these are damp, water will spread and give character to the flower that I have here. Okay, there we go. So I'll use whatever's on the brush and I'll keep going. So this painting is going to be in the browns family, unless of course I use the others that are already in the pan set. And I like the color combinations. This is art philosophy, by the way. It used to be called Prima, and somehow at some point they changed their names. What I'm doing now is glazing, meaning I'm going over another flower, but it's not as dry as I would like it to be. So I'll leave that alone. I will remember this is the paint that goes with that. I will finish this flower later, because if I do it now, the colors might just melt into each other, and that is not something I look forward to at the moment. Okay, so I move on. I'll go to this section and I'll make a bigger petal. I leave white spaces, and that somehow translates to highlights, like where light touches the petal. And I'm not being very technical as to where the light source comes from and so forth. I'm just assuming that there's light everywhere. And so I'm just painting. Whatever happens, happens. And I'll take it as it comes. So, I'm intrigued. I think I'm going to go for a purple. It's called Creation. And I will add a floral here. I'm sorry, a rose. Okay, let me just add. So I'll make a dark one here. A dark center. And then I'll quickly water it down and just play with whatever's left on the brush. Okay. So it may not be the biggest rose here, but it's going to just be in the background. And the more transparent it is, the more, you know, people think it's romantic and dreamlike. And so we'll keep it at this for the meantime. Yeah, so we have a purple one hiding behind some florals there. There's a blue one here. Let's play with it. It's a light blue, and I'll go here. I'll make a what do you call it, flower. Okay, and then water it down or remove paint from it altogether and just introduce water to the different parts and dilute or lighten some sections, and then I'm going to find a way to round it out. There. And then I'm going to add a darker color. It's called Eternity. I'll introduce it to some spots. And this somehow gives you the idea that, you know, there are shady areas and so forth. And then while it's wet, let me add some veins or leaves in the middle. There you are. And while that's done, I'll continue with Eternity. It's a blue-green that I like, and I'll add a little purple. So it's not teal, but more blue. Okay, let's turn the paper around. Let's work with this section and just add flowers. just make it all pretty and happy. It's a Sunday after all, and we want people relaxing. And if you want to see lots of relaxing videos like this one, kindly, and if it's not too much trouble, click on the links that I put here on this live feed. It's for my Instagram and my YouTube channels where I just do this. Please, please, please. And you know, have hours and hours of watch time just watching me paint. And this is like an aquarium where you just watch the fish move around the tank. Okay, it's nice to fall asleep to. It's nice to learn something new, a new skill even. And if you want to do a little or a short class, you'll know how to find me since you're subscribed. Lately, I've been trying very hard to create a painting a day and uploading it the same, because, well, let's see what we can do about you know, adding content and at the same time sharing knowledge, ensuring that my me time is always there, and earning a buck or two if possible. And it doesn't cost you, right? It doesn't cost you to sign up. Money anyways. Maybe just time. So I'm doing the same shape flowers and or the same technique type of flowers. I hardly veer away from another type of design. I just like wreaths. And at some point, I'll write a message in the center, and this is going to be a gift to someone special. Not that I'm selling. I have never sold a painting yet. I don't know if I want to, but if I were to sell something like this, how much would it go for? I've never made a price for myself. How much would you buy it for? And I promise I won't sell it to you. I just want to know what something like this would mean to you. You know, how hard, how easy, how much do you appreciate other people's work? So it will show how gallant you are, how appreciative you are by the price that you know, you do end up pricing this. So I just cleaned my brush, and I'm just using water to move the paint around. For this one, we had a teal sort of color. Maybe I'll play with this blue leftover paint while sections are wet. I'll just introduce the blue we used earlier. There you are. And time to turn the paper around again. Oh, let's play with it's called Namaste. It's a yellow, it's a happy yellow. which means we can go big and happy. There we go. So almost like a dinosaur bird claw design here. Then I'll fake it here, like you can't see it, and here as well. So it's just up to your imagination to wonder how it looks like behind. Yeah, that's one. Let's make another one because it just is so happy. Okay. It's hard to make a lone yellow one. It needs to have friends. There, and then whatever's left, let me just make flower designs here. Let's keep going. Hold on, let's move that paper so you can see what corner I'm playing with. And now let's just add brown for character, especially in the spots that are still wet. Otherwise, the paint will not move. So this is the character building moment. Da, 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 da. Okay. What else? What else? There is a... Yeah, why don't I play with what we call eternity color as is. So it's a green, blue, teal color. And let's just see what you can do with it. Okay. And I will make it into a flower still, even if it looks leafy. Like it should be a leaf. Okay, maybe just, well, I wasn't happy there. But in Tagalog, we call it papanindigan. We will make the most of it and forge on because it's already there. Or we, continue the commitment. That's what panindigan means. Keep at it because you finish what you start. Okay, we are working with the teal, well, no, it's called Eternity. I don't like it, but it's there. Let me just add water and try again one last time. There, a lighter version, but it turns out to be green when you just add water. So defeats the purpose of having leaves if the flowers look like the leaves, right? Okay, so I'll stop. I will not use it anymore. And then I will try, there's one more color called Chant. Oh, and Earth. Wait a minute, we have Chant and Earth. Let's play with them. Okay, turning the paper around. I think I did Chant here. Ew. It has a little green on it because I did not clean the brush well. Well, that's life. Take it. Take it. I'm talking to myself. Take it. Because that's what you were dealt. Take it. Even if it's a dirty green, yellow that you don't understand, just take it. It builds character. Okay. And then why don't we play with earth? Earth seems to be a dark gold, and let's just play with it and enjoy the new color, especially because I'm placing it against blue. Okay, now I'll place it here because there's space. Thank you for the love. I see a few hearts popping up. I'm not looking at the screen, so I can figure this painting out. I've placed the camera at a certain angle that is not difficult to look at, but you know, it takes effort. And I just want to be focused on the painting at the moment. Ooh, that's intense. Where else? Here. Let's keep going. Let's add to some sections and populate them. I don't like empty spots. Not totally happy, but not totally sad. Let's play with awake. It's almost red, but it's brown. Okay. I'm holding my breath. I wonder if it's going to look good. I'll leave that. And then I'll go back to the first color I used. It's called Adore. And I will ensure that it is loaded properly on the brush. And let's do there. Hopefully the leaves will cover the oh, why I did not notice I have a silver. So Namaste was gold and this is silver. Silver gray anyways. So let's play. What can we do with the silver at this late date? Let's make well, the silver was infused with the red, so it's a little it's redder than I want it to be, but why not? So let's clean the brush and hope for the best. Let's try to use this gray a little bit more as just gray. and I would place it maybe here. There we go. And I'll do another one that I just did earlier. So I'll clean the brush. Clean the brush. And just move paint around now. Okay, dilute it. Make it pretty. And then maybe add a little green tinge here and there. I don't know why, but why not? Okay. Leave that alone. And oh, this part doesn't seem to be, you know, making it round, so I will play with earth. And let's put earth here. Just let your imagination roll with that. And maybe here. Okay, at this point, maybe we can start playing with the greens that are left on the palette. I'll start with the lightest one and work my way. So I'll do Serenity, and then Nirvana, and then Eternity. So here we go. Serenity first. I will put some leaves on the roses. And since this is a, you know, typically a top view, I just imagine that there are leaves that peek from under the flowers this way. Okay. La 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 la. We just keep going. Maybe we can add the different greens that I have already on the palette, and let's see what they end up being in terms of color. This is a little darker, but that's okay. Okay. There are the roses. They came in threes. Now let's continue with the green, and let's just add them to the painting. Let me just add more green to the palette. Okay, let's try that again. So I'm going to drop my paintbrush. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. Wait, just drop my paintbrush onto the paper. So the paintbrush takes care of the shape of the leaf for me. Yeah, but if it's messy, I'll go back and clean it somehow. Okay, I'll just go around the paper. Let me move you and you, so I have more space to spin this sheet. Do you see? Okay. we spin. So we'll try to distribute this color as evenly as possible. And then I go load again. I will turn the paper around. This one gets the same leaf color. Then I turn the paper around again. Oops, this is messing up the ones that go to the end. Okay, so we're just laying down the leaf by using the tip of the brush to get a very thin line. You see that? And then I lower the paintbrush bristles to the paper so that the bristles open up. I'll turn the paper around and work with the other side. There should be enough paint on the bristles to finish this whole stem. And maybe that one needs just a little adjustment and fixing. Okay. And then maybe one more set of that somewhere here before I change color. So let me work with the inside. Okay. So we can put flowers outside and inside. So I may have mentioned this before. All these paper that I have, all these watercolor sheets that I have, I was preparing for online Zoom classes, but I have not scheduled any group sessions lately. Since I have these pieces of paper, I don't want them to go to waste. I don't want them to spoil, because yes, your watercolor paper may spoil, and it will show itself by having uneven, how do you say it? It unevenly absorbs your paint. So you don't want to find that out after you've worked, you know, long hours or maybe an hour on your work, only to find out it's your paper has, well, let me just say, died on you. So I'm just adding the same leaves, but I've changed the color. Hopefully that gives it variety. So we turn the paper around and look for a dry spot, and we work with that spot now. We don't want it to do this. I don't know if you can see it, but I've messed up the paper somehow. And the one way of avoiding that is to turn your paper around. Now, if you're the type of painter who uses an easel, good luck. It's just that, you know, some easels don't turn 360 degrees, and that's something you have to consider when you're buying an easel or when you're deciding how you're painting your whatever you like to paint. Okay. There we are. So we turn the paper around and we look for spots that need leafing, if I can call it that. So when paint is dry like this, I can paint on top of it and the paint will not mix anymore. That's called glazing with the letter G. Okay, so it can be done in watercolor, even if your watercolor paint was very stark or very pigmented. It can be done. You just have to find the right timing for it, because everything has timing. So I'm painting inside the circle. What can you put inside the circle? You can put a name, you can put a Bible verse, a motto by Tony Robbins, who I love very much and I've learned from. You can add a small recipe, maybe. You may want to put a password if you're into not Instagram, Airbnb. It can be your welcome sign. It can say, "Don't eat my food." It can say, "Welcome to this home." It can say, "Home sweet home." It can say so many things. Really, it's all up to you. Just because it's small doesn't mean there's nothing you can do in the center, right? That's for the small ones. I will give to creative people, because that way I know that, you know, the space inside will be utilized properly and correctly and lovingly and optimally. So I only have so many greens on the palette, but what I can do is mix them with the browns, and I can come up with a new color. For example, I'm doing it now. I'm turning a brown into a green gray, and then let's add more green to that, and maybe this becomes a hunter green or a shadow leaf color. There we are. I love it. It's not olive. I'll call it hunter green. Okay, I will continue here. This portion has nothing, and I'm sure it will benefit from a little design. I will work with this green some more, since I apparently loaded a lot. So let's put there, 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 there. Here, 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 and here. I'll turn this around and work here. It just needs dark. It needs contrast color. That's why I put a tiny piece there. Maybe here inside. Let me flatten the paper first. Okay, there's that. And where else? Here. What was that? Ay. Maybe nobody will notice. Haha. But that wasn't... I know what to do. I'm going to just come up with a flower. And I'm going to add leaves here. I know it destroys that petal, but it gives it a little bit more saysay. In Tagalog, it's called saysay. So there's a story behind it, and there is a history that, you know, or there's meaning to what I just did. I made the mistake into something understandable. that it suddenly is logical to find the flower there, to find the leaf there. Remember, you're doing the last or the darkest color last. That's what will cover everything else. And I'm working with the greens and the browns that are already on the palette, so we don't waste anything. Let me just finish this, and I start putting centers to all the flowers that I've previously painted, and then we can consider this painting done. Okay, now maybe using the same green. Since there's a lot on the paper, I will just add centers to the flowers. And then we can call it a morning, a very nice, pleasant Sunday morning. Well, checking my window, it's not the sunniest day, but it's not raining. So I'll take it. Okay. I'll turn the paper around. And for those who have stayed on, thank you. Those who are just starting to watch, this I would call is my last stage of painting my daily floral wreaths. I add center color. They're not supposed to be stamen, but you can imagine them to be. Okay, I don't know if the green will work here, but let it not be said it was unloved and forgotten. Okay, just adding centers to every flower, giving love to each and every creation I made today. Then we will take a picture and I will upload it to my YouTube and to my Instagram. I hope you can be there and support me. Okay, looks like I'm done. I've colored everything and I can call it a day. So thank you very much for joining me. Here's the final painting. I will make another scanned picture upload of this. Enjoy your day. Happy weekend.